Saha
Bhuya
Bhuya
Panchajanyayam
Panchajanyayam
Ajena Parisantrita Janayat Daksha Savalashvan Sahasrina Sabuya Panchajanyayam
Sabuya Panchajanyayam
Sabuya Panchajanyayam
Sabuya Panchajanyayam
Ajena Parisantita
Ajena Parisantita
Ajena Parisantita
Ajena Parisantita
Putran Ajanayat Daksha
Putran Ajanayat Daksha
Putran Ajanayat Daksha
Putran Ajanayat Daksha
Savalashvan Sahasrinaha
Savalashvan Sahasrinaha
Savalashvan Sahasrinaha
Savalashvan Sahasrinaha
Sabuya Panchajanyayam
Sabuya Panchajanyayam
Ajena Parisantita
Ajena Parisantita
Putran Ajanayat Daksha
Putran Ajanayat Daksha
Savalashvan Sahasrinaha
Savalashvan Sahasrinaha
Sabuya Panchajanyayam
Sabuya Panchajanyayam Ajena Parisantita
Putran Ajanayat Daksha
Putran Ajanayat Daksha
Savalashvan Sahasrinaha
Savalashvan Sahasrinaha Sabuya Panchajanyayam Sabuya Panchajanyayam Ajena Parisantita Ajena Parisantita Putran Ajanayat Daksha Putran Ajanayat Daksha Savalashvan Sahasrinaha Savalashvan Sahasrinaha Sabuya Panchajanyayam Sabuya Panchajanyayam Ajena Parisantita Ajena Parisantita Putran Ajanayat Daksha Putran Ajanayat Daksha Savalashvan Sahasrinaha Savalashvan Sahasrinaha
Sabuya Panchajanyayam
Sabuya Panchajanyayam Ajena Parisantita Putran Ajanayat Daksha Savalashvan Sahasrinaha Saha
Prajapati Daksha
Prajapati Daksha
Bhuya
Bhuya
Again Panchajanayayam
Panchajanyayam
In the womb of his wife Ashikni
In the womb of his wife Ashwini
or Panchajani
or Panchajani
Ajena by Lord Brahma
by Lord Brahma
Parisantitaha
Parisantitaha
being
being
pacified
pacified
Putran sons
Son
Ajanayat
Ajanayat
begot
begot
Daksha
Daksha
Prajapati Daksha
Prajapati Daksha
Savalashvan
Savalashvan
named the Savalashvas
named Savalashvan
Sahasrinaha
Sahasrinaha
numbering 1,000.
numbering 1,000.
Translation: When Prajapati Daksha was lamenting for his lost children, Lord Brahma pacified him with instructions, and thereafter Daksha begot 1,000 more children in the womb of his wife Panchajani. This time his sons were known as the Savalashvas. Purport: Prajapati Daksha was so named because he was very expert in begetting children. The word Daksha means expert. First he begot 10,000 children in the womb of his wife, and when the children were lost, when they returned home back to Godhead, he begot another set of children known as the Savalashvas. Prajapati Daksha is very expert in begetting children, and Narada Muni is very expert in delivering all the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, the materialistic experts do not agree with the spiritual expert Narada Muni. But this does not mean that Narada Muni will give up his engagement of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Sadhuya pantajanyayam adyena parisantitaha putran ajanayat daksha savalashvan sahasrinaha. When Prajapati Daksha was lamenting for his lost children, Lord Brahma pacified him with instructions, and thereafter Daksha begot 1,000 more children in the womb of his wife Panchajani. This time his sons were known as the Salavashvas. Om Agyan Samrandasha Kinandana Salakya Chaksun Litan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pambam Bangaiti Grim Yat Kripa Talaham Bandi Sigurum Dinatarnam Namo Om Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Kristaya Bhutale Srimatu Bhaktivedanta Swami's Nami Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravan Puchaini Vishesha Sunyavadi Pastyata Visatani
Manchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhudeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Jai Shri
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
So here we hear more about what happened after Daksha had lost all his 10,000 sons in Yasvadas. Now Prajapati has a talk with Brahma, and Brahma pacifies him. Brahma is kind of caught in between Narada and Daksha. Daksha is simply working under the direct order of Brahma in populating the universe. So Brahma is very satisfied with Daksha, and he's on his team. But then again, Narada Muni is also there, and there's a conflict. But Brahma is, so he's in between. He's also, of course, very satisfied with Narada Muni. So he has to be a little diplomatic and pacify Daksha and say, yes, what Narada Muni is also okay. I also understand you, and I'm very happy and satisfied with you. So anyway, there's no reason to lament. Lamentation is basically useless. It's in the past. The sons are already they're gone. But and you didn't do anything wrong. You do your best. You didn't do anything wrong. Don't feel discouraged. Please beget some more sons. And I'm just speculating, but then Brahma would say something like that. Probably something more, not so mundane. But this is what happened, and Daksha then he begets another 1,000 sons in the womb of his wife, and Daksha is known as very expert because he can beget children. So many children he can beget. Of course, it's not mentioned here. I'm just thinking about his wife must also be very expert, probably even more. Imagine raising 1,000 sons and 10,000 sons like that. Being the mother of all these. And I don't know if they're the same age or that's not mentioned, but it must be around the same age. Because they're sent off together to be trained, so they must be contemporaries, same age. So, she's definitely also very, very expert. Of course, the expertise of Daksha is not simply that he can beget children, because pigs can also beget children. And actually, pigs are more expert than human beings, because pigs, when they beget children, they get 10, 12 at one time. So the boar and the sow should also be known as Daksha, because they are very expert at begetting children. But that's not really the point of Daksha as such. He's very, you might say he's very potent. He can, he's able to conceive many children at one point. That's not really what is. Of course, he must be biologically potent, but that's not why he's called Daksha. He's very expert in begetting children and raising children, and they become first class. They are raised as and this we'll hear, and we've seen through this whole chapter. He's begetting the children, and then he is training them and educating them and making them first class, cultured citizens of the universe. The universe needs first class citizens, as we know that in the beginning Brahma tried to engage different of his sons to beget children. At one point he also manifested Rudra or Shiva, and Shiva was, and then he engaged him in begetting children. But these were actually not, they were of very low quality, and they started destroying the universe. So the point is not just to get any kind of children, but it's to get first class children. This is why Daksha, he's so dear to Lord Brahma, because he can get many children and he makes them first class. If you are, if you can say that, I was conceived by Daksha, actually it's a quality stamp. You are very good. You're a really cultured, first class citizen of the universe. So this is Daksha's real expertise. And we see that how his sons have been trained according to Varnashram. They have been sent to the brahmachari to live as brahmacharis in the Gurukula, and then they are expected to come back and themselves become very good first class grihastas and get good wives, become responsible, and raise more children, and this way populate the universe. And so also it's just first class what Daksha is doing. You cannot complain at, but still, he's a materialistic expert, and there's another Muni. He is the spiritual expert, and somehow there's a conflict between them, although they're working for the same purpose. Ultimately, Daksha is begetting children so that they can, he's facilitating bodies, so souls, they can get human bodies and achieve freedom via the human form of body. They can achieve freedom from the cycle of birth and death and go back home, back to Godhead. There's no, Daksha is not, he really has no other purpose. At the bottom of his heart, this is what he's really, it's just, this is, and he does it this way. He's inclined to that service, of course. Everyone has an inclination, and the perfection of life is to use that inclination in Krishna's service. And you cannot, it's not possible to do something else. This is a theme that is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Again, you cannot go against your nature. And Daksha has this nature, so he cannot go against it. But he nicely engages in Krishna's service, and this is just perfection. And that is the advice given to all of us. It's a very important theme that goes through the Bhagavad Gita. You cannot fight against your nature or suppress your nature. You must act according to your nature. But that nature should be engaged. Once you engage in a detached way, and the results should all be for Krishna's satisfaction. And then, how is Yena Bhutani Sheshani, is that? Yatha Pravritya Bhutanam. I forgot that verse, but that's this 18th chapter where Krishna says that every man can become perfect by performing his prescribed duty. Now hear from me on this. And then Krishna says, by worshipping the Supreme Lord, who is all-pervading with the fruits of one's duties, every man can attain perfection. It's like that, isn't it? More or less like that. So Krishna, he says that is actually the path which is acted according to our nature, and then with that nature we should satisfy Krishna. Our work should be utilized in, and the fruit thereof should be engaged in Krishna's service. And of course, it has to be understood correctly. This, that one cannot suppress one's nature. It doesn't mean that my nature is to be a sins enjoyer and meat eater and sex monger and drunkard and drug addict. This is my nature, and why should I? What can repression accomplish? So there's no reason to. We should just but that's actually not what Krishna is talking about in the Bhagavad Gita. He talks again and again that one has to control his senses, and one should practice the regulated principles of freedom, and so on and on. And it's there's no scope for sense gratification in that sense. But what he's talking about is that one has a certain nature, like Arjuna has a nature of a kshatriya. He cannot act as a brahmana. He is a kshatriya by nature, and he must engage in, as a kshatriya. Even if he will try to do something else, but he, like Krishna says, but you end up doing precisely the same thing anyway. Now you're going against my instruction, but you end up doing precisely the same impelled by the modes of nature which you have acquired. And so there's no point in even trying. I don't know if is that a Vedic story. It's just Lalitanatha's fertile imagination, but he tells us, the story of actually what happens. There's different versions of the Bhagavad Gita, but in one version of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he doesn't go against Arjuna. He says, okay, he said, do what you like. So then Arjuna says, Ajay, he gives up the fighting, and he goes out in the forest, and he just becomes a mendicant, and starts begging around. And there's only one chapter in that Bhagavad Gita. It's in the first. There's no. And Arjuna is there. He's begging. He's begging Diksha, Bhikshu. Please give me. And he's begging in 7 houses. And as I understand, that's like the system. If you're begging, you can only beg in 7 houses, and then you have to live on that. Someone will say, no, why should I give you something? You look like a healthy, strong man. Why do I need to give you? And in this way, in some houses you get, in some houses you don't get. That's nature of begging. So Arjuna, he goes there. He begs in 7 houses, and then he has, and then he has something. And then actually he's supposed to divide it. Whatever he has gone, I think there's. What is it? This is all technical, but something he has to offer something to the animals, and something. Do you know about that? And then if there's no one else around, he has to share also. If there's someone to share with, and then whatever's left he can take. So it's actually begging is actually quite austere if it's done properly according to the Vedic system. So, but then. Just when Arjuna he's going to start, eating whatever is there left over from his begging, and he sees there's another beggar. He's an old man. He's weak, and he was out begging, and actually he got some good donations, and got some food, and then the third beggar comes, and he's a little stronger, like that. And he actually starts harassing this old, weak beggar and saying, actually, you should give me, here I'm the king of the beggars here. So, so I said, you have to, in practice starts, harassing and stealing whatever this wheat beggar he has gotten. So then Arjuna, he sees that, and then he gets up all in arms, and then he says, he's angry, and he says, what is this? What is this? He's a weak man. How can you steal what he has legally begged and achieved? And then the other beggar says, who are you? And then Arjuna says, I'm Arjuna, I'm the son of Pandu. And then the beggar says, but that's nice, but I'm the boss here. You also listen to me. And Arjuna says, no, fight. And then Krishna, he comes and says, Arjuna, I told you, we'll fight. The point is, we cannot control, we cannot suppress our nature in that sense. So we must utilize our nature. We have to act according to our propensity and use it in Krishna's service. And that propensity in any way is created by Krishna. So it's not that it's, nothing wrong with our nature. We have a nature, we have talents, we have abilities. These are all Krishna's talents and abilities. So to also suppress them and say they're not there and not utilize them is also in one sense some kind of a Mayavad approach, to say, everything is Maya and our nature is Maya and so on. But actually it's not Maya, it is Krishna's talents and energies. And Krishna's abilities should be engaged in Krishna's service. That's actually the devotee sees like that. And that's proper Krishna conscious vision. And that utilizing one's nature in that sense, in that way, does not in any way entangle one or is not contaminating at all. It's actually one is in a completely transcendental position. One doesn't identify with it, but one uses one's nature nevertheless. So that's Daksha. Daksha cannot, he has a nature and he's utilizing his nature just first class. But still, we see here that there is a conflict between him and the spiritual expert, because still it's it's just they have a different perspective. Of course, Narada Muni has the most correct vision, but it's not that Daksha is completely off either. It's just Daksha is more materialistic. Ultimately, he's also spiritual, but he's more materialistic and very expert at being a very good materialist, first-class materialist. And Narada Muni, he is a first-class spiritual expert. Probably says here, very often be conflicts between the spiritual experts and the material experts. And sometimes it's so that they cannot all relate to each other. It's like day and night, like Krishna, he says in Bhagavad Gita, Yanisha Sarvabhutanam Shashyam Yakrati Samyama Sanisha Pasate Mune
Sanisa Pashato
Sa
Nisha Pashato Muni.
So that's right. Okay. Yeah. So what is so what is night for all beings, or night?
Sarvabhutanam is Bhutanam, that's why.
Sanisha Pasha. Sanisha Sarvabhutanam. Starts like that.
Tashyam Yakrati Bhutanam.
Okay. Yeah, so what is night for all beings is daytime for the introspective sages, for the self-realization, and what is day for all beings is night for the self-realization. Two completely different ways of looking at the world. The materialists, they have they're very expert in creating material facility and in dharma, in economic development, in sense gratification, basically. That's where they have their great expertise. And we see that also, in this world. There's so many who are, the great experts. You can go and get all kinds of expert advice how to, live a life in this world, create a comfortable material situation, an ideal material situation. But spiritual experts, they are different. For them, actually, it's to some degree a matter of destroying material, or just getting detached from material circumstances. So they will actually disagree. Material experts will, will instruct you. It's a matter of also, we have to. That's one part of being expert. That you're expert at taking proper instructions, because we want to understand that actually I cannot, on my own, plot out my own path, and we need to take guidance. But depending on whom one takes guidance from, one will get different results. And of course, in the Bible, the whole theme is one should take guidance from the spiritual experts, not the material experts. Although they might seem, actually they are very expert, but the guidance will, they will entangle one more in material existence. And one has to actually know who are actually the material experts and who are spiritual experts. In one sense, it's of course obvious. Some material experts are very easy to recognize. The businessmen and the bankers, and they have advisors. You go down to the bank, and they have, you can get your own personal advisor, economical advisor. But what will his advice be? To give up all economic development and become detached and go and sit under a tree and just chant Hare Krishna or practice some spiritual. That will not be his advice. Will be, you should invest here, and this way you can increase your, you increase your material wealth by asking them, and it'll work, or maybe it won't work. That's another part, because this world is full of cheaters. Maybe they are a bad example, because many of the bank advisors are seemingly advisors, but actually they are just salesmen for the bank. You know that we had some bank crashes here over the within the last 5-7 years, wasn't it? And it turned out that many of the advisors, they were, especially one famous bank, the Roskilde Bank. The advice how they were advising. They were advising that we have this fantastic bank. Just see how our stocks, they actually advise you to invest in the stocks in our bank. And then they would say, some people say, but I don't have anything to invest in. And then say, take a loan in our bank and buy stocks in our bank. And did that. I mean, they had the whole town.